Hello and welcome to another edition of On the LinkedIn Couch with
Joe Saunders.
And I'm Reg Sorrell. Today we are talking company pages and video. So Joe, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions if that's okay?
Sure.
Excellent. So what is a company page on LinkedIn?
A company page is similar to a profile, but it's written about a company, obviously.
Yeah, good start.
Yes, so but it's not a profile in a company name. It's actually, it's created, once you've got a profile, you can create a company page and connect to it. So it's a linkage point. So if you have a team, it becomes a hub for your team.
Okay. So why would somebody use, or why would a company use video on that page?
Now, I'll just start about the content on a page. To get followers on a page, kind of like on Facebook, you've got profiles, you've got pages. Mm-hmm. To get somebody to follow a company page is difficult. So why would you bother putting content on a company page? Well, like I said, it's a hub for the people. So if you want to control your content, you might use video on a company page and distribute it through your team. So get your team to engage with it. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I think you've answered this third question second.
No, because we're going to go into that in more detail now.
Oh, yeah.
Aha.
Hey.
See, that means you've got another question for me.
I do have another question for you.
I knew it.
And the question is, how would a team utilize video on a company page then?
Okay, so let's talk about the content strategy from the company's perspective. So okay. You've got the company page, and I've probably got a diagram you can insert here. So you've got your company pages is sort of here, it's a bit of a hub, your people are connected to it, they've got their own connections, which are their first level connections, and then you've got the second level and beyond. So and this is really critical for LinkedIn because every time you engage with somebody on LinkedIn, you're exposing them to your network. So I'll get back to video in a minute, so I'm not going off on a tangent.
That's
just,
okay,
you know.
I'm with you.
So I'm connected to you, Reg, but you're connected to Bob over there, but I'm not. So Bob is your first level connection, but he's my second level because it's through you. Mm-hmm. And Bob's connection, Jill, is my third level because she's your second, she's my third. Now the importance of understanding that is that when you post content on LinkedIn, so Reg, if you posted a video on LinkedIn,
good idea.
Let's spin it around. I posted the video on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah. Because
we've just talked about this whole linear approach. So I posted a video, you engage with it, but what you're doing is actually exposing your network to this video and to me. Mm-hmm. So you might comment on it. So Bob, who's connected to you, will then potentially see it. Now, Bob could actually comment on the video. And Jill, who's Bob connected to, you with us so far? So we've got me, Reg, Bob, Jill, in a row. Mm. So Bob will see it because of Reg. Jill will see it if Bob engages with it potentially. Yes. So it's all about the algorithm. So going back to videos and company pages, people are not really compelled to follow a company page because it's pretty boring.
Yes.
There's not a lot happening. There's no functionality. There's no sexy stuff like Facebook has all sorts of plugins and excellent stuff that LinkedIn just doesn't have. It is true, unfortunately, and it might change, but for now, that's what we've got. But it is the connection point for your team. So if you post a video on your company page and you're an employee, you could comment on that video or even share it, which exposes it to your network. So you're actually helping market the business from doing that. Now, it all comes down to content in the video. Now, if you're doing a promotional piece that's like almost an ad for your company, then that's not going to be so compelling for other people to engage with, unless it's something really out there and different. But if the video is sort of telling the backstory of the business, maybe you've had a professional come in and do some shooting, telling that story, so behind the scenes what's going on, you've got sort of short, interesting videos. Your team, for them to share that or engage with that, that's probably more compelling for people to engage with, particularly if they're in the video. So going back to the whole, so say it's a company you work for, Red, you share the video, Bob is connected to you, he may see it, he might comment on it, giving exposure to Jill. So that's the power of video on LinkedIn. If all you're doing is posting video to your company page and you've got no strategy around what to do with it or any guidance in terms of your team, then you're not actually leveraging the people because people connect people. Mm-hmm. And people have at least 10 times more connections than a company page has followers. Yes. If not more. I mean, that's at a minimum. Yeah, sure. So you're actually leveraging those people and the wider network. So that's why you do company pages. But you need a strategy and you need training. So if you're talking teams, your team need to understand why they'd actually engage with this video and the benefits to them and the business, but also how to do it.
Okay. So an unscripted question. Would that then dictate the type of videos that you'd put on a company page?
Well, yeah, it can do, because if you think about LinkedIn is a professional platform, and the types of videos you might put on a profile, we talked about conversational videos in previous episodes and where that fits in. So these may not be on a company page. It comes down to your brand. And I mean, if you're a very corporate brand, you might not have your staff just with an iPhone or whatever doing some selfie type videos, particularly if you haven't taken care of that thumbnail, which we talked about in another episode.
Previous episode.
You know, so refer back to that. That might not fit. So it's more, it might be a little bit more professional, or you might do interviews with your team. So it's going behind the scenes. So you might have, you know, you might still do your iPhone type videos, but it's got to link into your company strategy. So it's not just as ad hoc as, oh, I'm at this event, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing, or I'm going to talk about this. It needs to be in line with the company strategy, not just an individual.
Right. Okay. So you've mentioned there that you could still use your iPhone.
Yeah.
Would it be the same? Would the expectations be the same from a post video from a person, as opposed to a post video from a company?
Ooh, good question. Now, have you noticed that the tone of this video is very serious, isn't it?
It is.
We're being very serious. And
I should have worn a tie.
Yeah, I think that's why we're yellow. Yellow's,
is.
actually, yellow's not even a serious colour. See, I had to wear yellow to brighten up the video, because if I
Yes.
wore blue...
Yeah. You don't want to start
Yeah,
in the middle of the video and stuff.
So you raise a good point, because if...
Hang on, did I say that again? I raised a good point. Normally I'm forgetting things.
Yeah, we're just in flow here. It would determine the content, because you're not just going to do something that's spontaneous and out there, particularly if you're working for a larger organisation, and because there's different risks involved, and if it's not in line with your company brand, and you know, so, and who's got the I mean, only certain people have keys to post on a company page. So just like Facebook, people can be assigned as an admin. So you set up your company page, whoever becomes the admin. But you know, say I set up a company page for my business and you're part of my team, I can make you an admin, which gives you the ability to post. Now, a company page, the video capability only came out in the last few weeks, so it's fairly new. A company page management is only desktop as well. You can't post to a company page from a mobile.
Oh, okay.
So if you think about then how that fits in with the type of video, so you're not going to create a quick video on an iPhone and post it to a company page, because you can't do it yet. Might come.
Yeah.
So this is all desktop, which then kind of implies that you're going to do a bit more planning with this video. It's going to maybe a little bit more on brand, and
maybe a little bit more polish, maybe.
Yeah.
Still the same production values to be honest, but you want it to look a little bit more professional, I would have thought. So you can still use your phone, but maybe you're going to have a top and tail. Maybe you're going to include proper graphics or logo intro or something. Which
is not hard to do. So you might have someone on your team who they're assigned, obviously they're an admin of the page, and maybe they're assigned to be the content producer of video. So they might control what it looks like. So it's got, because you want consistency, that's a big one. And you might top and tail it. So you might be doing it on your iPhone with Splice. I've mentioned that app before. You can still do that, but I'd be putting in something at the beginning, because you want that opening thumbnail to be... Now, and this is where you don't want to put your logo at the beginning then, do you? Because all your videos are going to look the same.
True.
So you want your opening to be something interesting. So once again, create your thumbnail. Maybe it's got the title of the video and a compelling image that matches the content. But you want to close with your brand, and maybe a call to action, or even just here's your logo and your website, that sort of thing. But then you might go down the avenue of actually engaging a professional. So you might book someone like Reg for the day, and to tell the story of your business. So you might go through and interview all your staff, and actually tell people what you're actually doing, so behind the scenes, so that you build up then almost a library of content that is consistent and on brand. And you want them to be short and sharp as well, because LinkedIn video, it's the same thing applying.
Time, so we've got to keep moving. That's short. Short and sharp.
Short and sharp, that's right. So you want to keep them snappy, because no one's watching 5+ minute videos on LinkedIn.
Yes,
that's boring. So if you can, so you're not sharing a video of, it's Bob's birthday today. Here's a video of him blowing out his candles. Like,
Bob's that old.
Yeah, that would be
Face in the cake.
So, what is it about? So it's about the people, but it's about the culture of the business. It's about, what do you actually do? And if you've got that consistency, which is why a professional would help. And having a shoot that's in one day would be useful. Whereas if you've got, say you're doing it with the iPhone, which I'm saying you can do it, but if you've got, going back to the whole thumbnail thing, if you've got a different thumbnail with different fonts and colours and different look and feel, you've got one's inside, one's got bright lighting, one's got, and you've got someone different editing, and they're all going to look different. It's going to be very much a mishmash of video. Yeah. So it comes down to being professional and on brand.
Yeah. So I guess it comes down to your video production knowledge to a degree. So you can produce something a little bit better than something like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
That whole... So if you've got a tripod and, you've got someone who can edit, basic editing, then that's going to look a lot better than just, your camera on your desk and then you're just talking about an instance or you're interviewing someone at an event or whatever it is. Yeah. So you still can use the DIY production techniques, but just understand that you've got to get a little bit of spit and polish to make it fit within your brand guidelines.
So if it's like on one of those kind of selfie videos, which you see a lot of, where I'm in a car between meetings and I'm talking to camera, that might not cut it for the company page because that's a bit too probably casual. But if it's a bit more polished and in a similar environment, it might, it's just having a bit more thought, because it's not just about you now, it's about your organisation, and organisations should have some social media guidelines and maybe policies if you want to go into that depth, but having some guidelines around your brand, what you can and can't do. Obviously with a company page, like I said, only the person with the keys, which is the admins, can post on behalf of the company. So in terms of control, you've got that. But in terms of production, you want to make sure it fits your brand.
Excellent. Okay, so we've covered what a company page is. We've covered why a company would use a video or videos on that page. And
how your team could, how to leverage your team, because that's important. That's a big part of that. If you're just posting to a company page and that's all you're doing.
That's it. If no one's there, then no one's watching the video and you've kind of wasted your time, haven't you?
Yeah, and there also is the indexing by Google now. I'm not 100% sure where that sits, so it'd be interesting to see how that rolls out, because it's quite a new feature. But if it's indexed by Google, as many parts of LinkedIn are, including articles, then there's an opportunity to be found in Google. So yeah.
So essentially, if you are a sole trader or something, maybe Facebook. How dare me talk about Facebook?
LinkedIn.
A LinkedIn company page may not be the best use of your time.
No, you probably better off focusing on your profile and video.
But if you're a business and you have a team of people that can possibly take that over, then would you say it'd be a good idea to include it in your strategy?
Oh, absolutely. And particularly now, because it is so new. I mean, it's only been out a couple of weeks. About a month. I saw it roll out actually when I was at the conference. So about a month ago, it hit some of the bigger brands. So if you can get on now, you're kind of getting ahead of your competition too.
Yep. Excellent. I did see very briefly Neil Patel quote saying that it's easier to get views on LinkedIn now than it is to get views on YouTube or Facebook.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's where the eyes are right now.
Yes.
I was going to say unfortunately, but it's fortunately for LinkedIn.
For LinkedIn, yes.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. If you have any questions you'd like us to answer about video and LinkedIn, please put them in the comments below. I'd also encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have an episode every Tuesday, so hit the notification bell as well. What else do we have covered it all?
Yeah, and sometimes we make up words, and sometimes we have a lot more fun. But because it's company pages, we're talking very serious,
we have to be a little bit
very serious and grown up today.
Yes. Lovely. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. See you next week. Joe Saunders, Reg Sorrell. Catch you later.
See you then.